If you are a Batman fan, you're really going to like this episode. I know I do, and I am a Batman fan. And my good friend, day tripping friend Bob DeWitt, introduced me to John Baisanz in Central Illinois, and he is the Central Illinois Batman. And he's got a Batmobile in his garage, and we get to check it out along with some other special rides. And this episode is presented by Kreiner Auto Body of Washington, Iowa, using state-of-the-art techniques and decades of experience to get your car back on the road after an accident. Car Doctor of Washington, Iowa. No matter who Frankensteined it, they can fix and clean and customize it. McDonald Boneyard of Keota, Iowa, for all of your farm equipment and auto recycling needs. Hinshaw Trailer Sales of Richland, Iowa. You need a trailer. They've got your trailer, and they fix what they sell and don't in their full-time repair shop. Girling Repair of Winfield, Iowa. If your mower is dead, call Fred, your Husqvarna, Aaron's, and Gravely dealer. And Fred also fixes and sells snowblowers. B&B Propane and the family of Jet Stops. Dutch Market and Coffee Talk. All your grocery needs at Dutch Market, and they even have a conference room you can reserve and use for free. And Coffee Talk now has that drive-through open. Pull up, order your coffee, your energy drink, baked goods, sandwiches, all right at the drive-up window. And they all present the award-winning Southeast Iowa Today. I'm John Bain, author of Christie's Journey, The Beat Goes On, and your host. Let's get to the Batcave. John, thank you so much for letting Bob and I visit you here today in your shop. And as the audience of Southeast Iowa Today know, that whenever Bob DeWitt's on the screen, we're doing a day tripping. Well, this is a day tripping with Bob DeWitt episode on a special kind. We're getting kind of a behind the scenes exclusive look at your shop, and not something everybody can do, but at least we're able to take the audience along today. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And what we're going to focus on, you've got several very cool cars in here, but I think people will see by what you're wearing, and
might give it away a little bit.
And what's back there by that Texaco sign that the theme is Batman.
Yes, it is.
And right here to my left, your right, is the Batmobile. I mean, as I think I'm going to title this episode, "Holy Childhood Fantasy Come True, Batman."
I apologize; it's a little dirty today, but yeah. So I own a Batmobile.
Hey, it might be a little dirty, but how many people can say they even own a dirty Batmobile?
That's true. That's true. That's a very good point.
Yeah. So, tell us how you've come to have a Batmobile.
Ever since I was a little kid, I was fascinated with Batman, and every time I saw the show, I would come home from school and I had to grab a snack and watch Batman, and I got excited every time I saw the car. And as time went by, I kept thinking, boy, it'd be cool to have one of those. Yeah. And I couldn't afford one. There was only 4 in the entire world that were original Barris cars. And they were just way too much money, but but I thought, you know what, I could probably piece one together over time, and maybe build one. And so that's how the whole thing got started. So yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Let's kind of walk over. Let's go get this Batmobile on the screen here.
Yeah.
And just tell us some things about it. I mean, first of all, the chassis on this, I think you told me, is a 1977 Lincoln?
It's a 1977 Lincoln. So I started out with it to be an accurate Batmobile. I can see either 127 or 129-inch wheelbase, which is a 77 through 79 Lincoln. So I found a 1977 Lincoln in Arcola, and I ran down there or a buddy of mine ran down there, picked it up, brought it back, and it only had, I think, 18,000 miles on it or something. And so we totally stripped it down to I kept the engine, the frame, the running gear. And then we put this body in the 1990s. These bodies and the canopies were being sold as kind of a kit car kind of deal.
Really?
And so that went on for a few years until DC Comics stepped in and said, "Hey, you guys can't be doing this because this is our thing.
You're having too much fun."
Yeah, way too much fun. So a guy that was building these bodies in California thought that the rights had expired to the 1966 Batmobile. And so he fought with DC Comics all the way to the California Supreme Court. Well, this California Supreme Court sided with DC Comics and said, no, DC still has the rights to that. You guys have to stop making these bodies. But before the ruling came down, I was able to grab a body and the canopies. That was pretty much all you could get. So we took the body and the canopies and mounted those on the Lincoln drivetrain, and then from there made and bought a lot of parts.
So, and if memory serves me correct from a few minutes ago, that Lincoln only had like 18,000 miles.
Yeah. It was.
That's like a new car.
It was. But you always hear about that story about the old lady who only drives it on Sundays.
Yeah.
Well, that was pretty much it. Yeah, and that was in the mid-1990s. So at that time, what was that? 25 years old car. I mean, she never drove it. I mean, she literally never drove. It was a beautiful car. I hated tearing it apart, but it made the perfect donor car because it had no miles on it.
So Aunt Harriet Lincoln turned into the Batmobile.
It did. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So cool. Yeah. His name was Edgar Fulford. So in 1977, when you ordered a brand new Lincoln, Ford would put a little plaque on your dash. It was I think it was aluminum, and they would what do you call it, sketching or something.
Etch it on.
They would etch your name on that plaque, and they would stick that plaque on your dash. And when you picked up your Lincoln, you had that little dash on there, which made it really special, right?
Exactly.
It's like, oh my God, there's my name. And so when I bought that car out of Arcola, Edgar Fulford's name was on that little plaque. And so when I stripped that car, I kept the running gear, the drivetrain, the engine. I kept the grill. I wanted the grill.
And the grill is right over here.
And the grill is right over here. That's the grill from the Lincoln right there.
Look at that.
Yep. So that's hanging on the wall as kind of a tribute to what the car was.
Yeah.
And then if you come over here, one of the last pieces I put on the car was the plaque from the dash on the Lincoln where it says Edgar Fulford. That's there underneath the radio.
Right there by that Lincoln symbol.
Yep.
There you go. You folks that are watching can obviously see it. You folks that are listening, you just have to know it's cool.
Yep. So that was one of the final pieces I put on the car when I got it done. That was a tribute to Edgar and the Lincoln.
That's pretty nice.
Yep.
Now, I mean, you look at, I'm right here and I'm just like, I can't believe my eyes. I mean, I expect to see Adam West and Burt Ward sitting there. I mean, you've got every gadget and switch.
Yep.
And the telephone, the bat phone's right there.
Yep.
It's just,
I tried to make it as accurate as I could to the TV show. There's things I changed to my taste, but for the most part, it was what was in the TV show.
Okay, there's some nerd that says something isn't the same, and you just explain that.
Yep.
But point out the obvious one so they don't have to leave it in the comments.
Okay, sure. So in the TV show, the lines in the seats, they went this way. Okay.
They were vertical instead of horizontal.
Exactly. I didn't like that. These lines back here were going this way.
Gotcha.
And I thought it would look best if the lines in the seats were going the same way.
And if George Barris wouldn't have been in a hurry, he probably would have done them this way.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
And then you said something about the shifter.
So in the original Barris cars, I think they call this an Anton handle.
Okay.
In the original Barris cars, so this car here, this handle here activates the parachutes in the TV show, okay?
That's the emergency bat turn lever.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then in the TV show, he had the same handle down here on the center console. I did not like that. It was sticking way too far up. It just looked a little too goofy, whatever. But anyway, so I took a gear shifter out of a late 60s Camaro or Chevelle. You would find the same shifter. And so I took the shifter out of those cars and put it in my car.
It looks cool, and it's period correct.
It's period correct, and it's just one of those little deals that I did that it's just to my liking.
Right.
So, but most people would never know unless they totally geek out like me. It's just not right.
Exactly.
But there's a few other touches like that that I changed. But for the most part, it's what you would see in the TV show.
Now we're looking on the screen. I'm looking on the screen, and the red that you have on the fenders and everything, and the door here.
Yep.
A lot of times we'll see that as more of an orange.
So in the TV show, George Barris used a fluorescent orange paint, and what they found was that fluorescent orange faded badly in the sunlight. And so that's another.
And back then, Batman fought crime in the daytime.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yep. And so that's another change that I made. I didn't want to. I spent a lot of money on paint and body work on this car, and I didn't want to have to redo it again. And so instead of going with the fluorescent orange and worrying about it fading over time, I decided to go with a Corvette red, is what this is. I think they call it Tor red. And so the stripes and the bat symbol, they all match, and it's a Corvette red instead of the fluorescent orange that Barris used in the TV show.
Well, it's cool. That's all there is to it. Yep. And this Bat fan, I was born in 1966.
Okay.
So it's like by the time the show was off the air, I was only 2 years old.
Yeah.
But I lived on it on reruns as a kid, and this is incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I got to pinch myself sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, this is really the Batmobile.
It is, yeah. It's a lot of fun going down the road. I mean, it's just, you can't imagine what happens going down the road in a Batmobile.
And then when you're going down the road, are you in the costume?
Sometimes, yeah. I won't do the whole costume. I'll at least put the cowl on just to have some fun.
Sure.
But that whole costume is all rubber and leather, and it gets insanely hot.
Yes.
And so, but I'll at least do the cowl, and I'll put like a black shirt on or something like that. But
that's cool.
But yeah, sometimes I do just I don't know, just because I want to have some fun.
That's awesome. Yeah. I bet you have a lot of fun. I mean, just being in your garage, looking at it's got to be fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. And there's the costume over there. That's the one that I wear. And
you went with the Michael Keaton look.
I did go with that, and not the 1966. Yep.
And was there? I like it. It's like man cave.
Yeah.
Right back there in the Batcave. Here we are.
Yeah.
And you had told Bob and I before we started recording that you kind of do that as a tribute to another gentleman.
Yep. There was a guy in New York named Lenny Robinson, and Lenny. He was a very successful businessman, and he sold some kind of cleaning business or something and made millions. And anyway, there's a video a long time ago of him driving a Lamborghini down the road. The cops pull him over. He gets out of the Lamborghini. More and more cops show up. They end up taking his picture or whatever. That video went viral. So anyway, as time went by, Lenny had a Batmobile built, or he bought one. I'm not exactly sure, but he ended up with a '66 Batmobile. Wow. And what he did was he started traveling the country, visiting children's hospitals and things like that. And I don't remember what year it was. His Batmobile broke down on the road, and for some reason he pulled over on the left side of the highway. He gets out of the Batmobile, goes to the passenger side of the car, and ends up getting clipped and killed by some woman going down the road.
Jeez.
So anyway, I can't. I don't have the funds to do what Lenny did. I'd love to be able to do that, but it just ain't going to happen. But but I thought I could at least do what he did locally. So I do visits down at the Children's Hospital dressed as Batman, and that's the same costume that Lenny wore.
I bet the kids love it.
Oh, they do. They do.
Well, you're definitely honoring his memory by doing that.
Yep. That was part of the goal was
to be a little emotional too, seeing the kids and.
You have no idea.
That would be the tough part.
You have no idea.
Do a children's hospital.
I've gotten hardened over time.
Yeah.
But when you first do that, it's. I mean, even when I still do it, you get home and you get tore up a little bit. I mean, just mentally, just seeing what I see there.
Yeah.
You realize your worst day is nothing.
Yeah. I mean, these kids are in these rooms that are no bigger than a bedroom in a house. I mean, whatever it is, 12 by 12 or whatever it is, and they're there every minute of the day, sometimes for years. I mean, that's their existence, and there's some beautiful kids down there, and they should be outside playing basketball or doing something with their friends. And I was there in the summertime last year, and it was a beautiful day.
Yeah,
it's like, and you see these kids down there, it's like, oh my God, it's like, what are you doing in here? You shouldn't be in here.
But then once in a while they'll get to see the Batmobile.
They do. There's been a couple of kids that there's a little boy in there that got a huge kick out of seeing it last year. And if they go to my Facebook page, Central Illinois Batman, they'll see some pictures of me and that little boy from that visit. And he gets a huge kick out of it when he sees the car. In fact, that was one of the first questions he asked when he saw me last year, "Is the Batmobile here?" And I said, "Yeah," and we both ran to the window to see it.
That's cool.
But yeah. So
That's cool. Now,
it doesn't get any easier doing that at all.
Well, it's wonderful that you do that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Underneath the hood,
It's just an original Lincoln 77 Lincoln motor. All I did was I took it out, painted it. I put some different valve covers on it, a different intake manifold, different carburetor, a different air cleaner. But for the most part, I just took it out and painted it. I just wanted to drive it. I didn't want a fast car or anything, so I just took it out, painted it.
Well, with that engine and this chassis, it's got to be a nice cruiser.
It is. I mean, I'm just driving a '77 Lincoln down the road. Is all I'm doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like driving a big couch down the road.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, tell everybody what works, what goes on, with this thing.
Everything in the TV show, the antenna would go up and they would shoot a laser out. Of course, mine doesn't do that, but it does go up and down. That's just a power antenna, is all it is. So that works. The detective scope works. The Bat computer works. Everything works.
Oh, look at that!
That was my goal, was to get everything working. So yep. So everything works on it just like it did in the TV show.
Man, now,
yep.
When Robin rides shotgun with you, does he yell out atomic batteries?
Oh yeah.
Or turbines?
Well, anybody that rides with me has to say that.
And then you say, Roger.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, Roger. Look, that's good.
So see,
yeah.
That means I'm ready to ride. I knew what I had to say.
Do you know the line?
Yeah, I know the line.
Okay, yeah, yeah, but no, everything works.
I kind of figured after a year. I think once I was an adult, it's like they used that same footage on every episode.
They did.
And when they ran into Commissioner Gordon's building at the police headquarters, it was the same footage.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care.
Yep.
Wow, this is just.
But no, I wanted it all to work, and that was one of the reasons it took so long to build it, was because all this stuff had to work, and there's no wiring diagrams out there for a Batmobile, so I had to figure it all out and kind of learn as I went. So yeah, it just took a long time to get it all together and make it work.
Well, the cool factor on my whole podcast library has gone up 10 bat notches for sure.
Is the meter pegged?
Yeah. Let's look at the back here where Bob's at.
Yep.
And see where that flame comes from.
Yep. So right here, it'll shoot fire out about 3 foot.
Wow.
Yep. So there's a propane tank behind the seat, and,
okay.
and all I did was I used parts off a gas grill, and so just like on your gas grill, you'll turn the gas on, you'll hit the igniter, it'll go tick tick tick, and then that's what starts the flame. So
cool.
So there's a propane tank behind the driver's seat. So I turn the gas on. I've got a safety switch underneath the dash so it doesn't go off by accident. So I'll hit the safety switch, and then I'll hit the igniter underneath the dash. So back here, there's 2 little probes. They've got a 1/8.
Oh, yeah.
There's a 1/8 inch gap between the probes. So when I hit that igniter, so you turn the gas on, the gas starts coming out. I hit the igniter just like on your gas stove, right? Mm-hmm. Tick tick tick. Well, it makes a tick tick here, and that's what lights the gas. And I've got the gas turned way up, and then it'll shoot out about 3 foot.
Wow.
Yep.
Now I got a crazy question. When you do use the bat turn lever,
yeah, and
the parachutes come out, do they have the bat symbol on the parachute?
No. So that's one of the things I did that's just there for show.
Okay, because just talking to me that I watch the show.
I know you. I can tell you. I can tell you're paying attention. Yes. So yeah. So no.
I had to ask Bob.
Yes. So to make these look real, I just went to Menards and I bought some foam. I think it's like, I don't know what it is, 1/2 inch or something. And I just glued layers of it together, and I packed them in here to make it look real.
It looks real.
Yeah. I would never release the parachutes. I mean, it's just something I would never do.
Well, you probably don't have the bat parachute pickup service like they did.
And I don't have that either, so that's the reason I can't do it, because otherwise they just lay there in the road.
Yeah, and we can't have you littering.
Cars run over it, and accidents happen, and it's like, okay, we can't have that.
You definitely can't.
Yeah.
Definitely can't. So, now, I have to, there's people that are watching, and they're like, look at all this other stuff in the background.
Yep.
You got a Viper over here.
Yep.
Is that some kind of Pontiac ambulance, or what is that? Or Oldsmobile?
That is a Pontiac.
Pontiac, okay.
So in the 60s, they made mostly Cadillac ambulances. They made quite a few Pontiacs. They made very few Oldsmobiles. So this is a Pontiac.
Gotcha.
So there's from what I can tell, they made 136 of these.
Wow.
And this is only one of probably maybe 2 in the country.
That's amazing.
There's one that's restored that I know of. The other one is a bad parts car, and then there's mine. So as far as I know, there's only 2 that are actually running and still exist.
It's incredible.
But they only made 136 of those when they first built those. Yeah.
It's amazing. And then this car looks very familiar to me, and I know it looks very familiar to Mr.
Yeah.
Bob?
Yes.
That's
What is that, Bob?
Used to be your car, didn't
My
it?
1963 Mayberry Sheriff's car.
Yep.
When we met in 2008,
Yes.
I pulled over your General Lee at the Planes, Trains, and Automobile.
In Geneseo,
show in
Illinois.
Geneseo, Illinois.
Yeah.
We did a little.
We put on a
skit.
show.
It was all ad lib, but it was.
You chased my wife and I through the streets of Geneseo, and
Yes.
we pulled over, and you'd try and write me a ticket, and I'd push a hat down over your eyes and run and hop back in the window of the General.
I went to get my ticket book, and you took off, and we pulled you over again. And
Yeah.
Yep.
it was fun.
Yep. And the fishing pole and the picnic basket is still in here.
Oh, look at that.
And
Brett sat.
It got a hat signed by
by
George
Goober signed that.
Lindsay.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
print set.
Yeah. And there's the fishing pole and the picnic basket over there.
That's incredible.
So, yep.
So, wonderful collection.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
Yeah.
It's definitely different.
Definitely. And
So-
what do you got up there on the lift up there?
That's a 74 Charger I've had since high school.
Oh, wow.
I've got to get that one done. I spent a lot of time getting the Batmobile done, but that's got, I think it's a 542 Hemi in it. I know it's a Hemi, but I think it's a 542.
Well, anybody that watches my show, and I failed to do it when we looked under the hood of the Batmobile, but we're seeing the engine here, and I'm just going to grunt.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't help myself.
Exactly. Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
This is awesome.
And then the Viper, it's a 1997, and that one's got a supercharger on it. I put a supercharger on that. I don't even know, in 2010, I think it was. So,
You know, the one thing that I get disappointed about the Vipers,
Mhm.
I'm 6'3".
you won't fit.
No.
No, my son is about your size, and as he was growing up, it's like, I can't wait to drive the Viper. I can't wait to drive it. Well, he got to be about your size, and he is so mad because he will not fit in there anymore. He never got to drive it.
It's not fair.
No.
But you know what? No matter my height, I can definitely still drive the Batmobile. I mean, I could. Not obviously, you won't let me, but
Yeah.
But at least a guy can dream.
Exactly. Yep. And the hood and the trunk, these are on actuators.
Okay.
So when I go to raise the hood or something, that's how they open up.
Well, how else would Batman's hood open?
I got to be different, right?
That's awesome.
I can't do it the regular way.
Okay, here we
It's
go.
the Batmobile.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay, look at that.
Yep. So the hood and the trunk are both on actuators, and the gas tank's in the trunk.
Okay.
And I didn't want to cut into the body. I didn't want to do a filler, a filler lid on the body. So you have to open the trunk to get the gas in there.
And of course, you have to do that when nobody's looking because everybody knows that this is atomic powered.
Oh God, you can't even imagine. When I go to get gas, you at a gas station, I'll be there for I don't even know how long. Everybody wants pictures. People are jumping out of the gas station, and it's so funny.
I get the same thing when I'm in my General Lee. It's like,
Yeah.
don't go out if you're in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Because don't ruin it for the people that love the car.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and if you are in a bad mood, as soon as you get behind the wheel of the Batmobile, or
Oh.
the General Lee, or Mayberry squad car, you're going to be smiling anyway.
You can't be in a bad mood driving a Batmobile.
That's
Yeah.
right.
But maybe like your car, you have to pay a lot of attention to the guys around you.
Yeah.
Because people do some crazy stuff trying to get pictures going down the road,
Exactly.
and you always have to be you always have to be in full alert.
Yes.
And it's funny what people will do to try to catch up.
Uh-huh.
To get a good picture of it. So.
And they always want to see it fly.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, John, if there was one thing I should have asked you about the Batmobile that I didn't, what would it be?
What would it be? I think you pretty much covered it. I don't know what else it'd be.
Okay, well, that makes me feel good because lifelong Batman fan.
Probably it's not for sale.
It's not for sale.
Okay.
At least not today.
Yeah.
Everything's for sale at one point, but it won't be today.
Yes.
I learned a long time. I've been married for over 38 years now,
Yeah.
and my wife has told me, "Oh yeah, I agree with you. That might be neat to get, but you're gonna have to sell the General Lee."
Yeah, yeah.
It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, that's why I'm single. I don't have to worry about that.
There you go.
I got nobody to check in with me.
There you go.
Vice versa.
Well, you know, Bruce Wayne wasn't married either.
There you go. That's exactly why I'm single.
There you go.
I gotta. If I'm gonna play the guy, I gotta be like full. I gotta be full in.
Yeah, that's right. Well, hey, this has been 23 minutes and 37 seconds of podcast excellence.
Cool.
And it's starting to get late, so
there you
that's
go.
when Bob and I start calling it a day, and we know Batman's just getting started. So, so thank you so much.
You're welcome.
How cool was that? I mean, that was just a dream come true for me to be in the same place as the Batmobile. The only thing better would be to don the cowl and head on down the road and fight crime in it, but I don't think John's going to let me do that. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I want to also thank my sponsors, but before that, there's a lot of you that are new to the podcast that are watching right now, and at the beginning of the podcast, I say award-winning podcast, Southeast Iowa Today. Well, that's because Truly did win an award, an Iowa Podcast Award, and it's the 2024 Advocacy Award. Just got it this past September. Very proud of it, and wanted you to know that when I tell you something, it's what it is. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Thanks to my sponsors, Griner Auto Body, Car Doctor, McDonald Boneyard, Hinshaw Trailer Sales, Girling Repair, B&B Propane, and the family of Jet Stops, the Dutch Market, and Coffee Talk. I'm your host, John Bain. Stay friendly, Southeast Iowa.